Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. So if you've seen any of my gun review videos, you probably know that the first part takes place in my kitchen. I give you guys some background information about the company, and then I show you how to disassemble and reassemble said firearm. Well, my kitchen was a tad bit dirty, and I figured since it's so nice out, why waste time cleaning the kitchen when I could just come up to the gun range and do everything here. So right now I'm going to introduce you guys to the Landor Arms AR12, specifically the model LND117. So here it is. If anybody is unfamiliar with what an AR12 is, it is a semi-automatic 12 gauge shotgun in an AR platform. So if you're new to the gun world and you're looking at purchasing an AR12 for your first one, basically the AR is specifically the platform. You have your AR-15 style, but as you can see, it's taking the 12 gauge shotgun shells. It is semi-automatic, which means every time you pull the trigger, it fires, ejects the spent shell, and reloads your next shell. So all you have to do is boom, 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 and it is fun, fun, fun. So basically, Landor Arms is a company out of Turkey, and if anybody has seen my Canik rival review company, that is also a Turkish company, I love that thing. So people in Turkey know how to manufacture a firearm. So as I'm actually looking at this, I try to have some information ready to go for you guys, but I'm seeing this, Amarillo, Texas. I'm going to go ahead and say that that is a manufacturing company, possibly. Maybe they manufacture in Texas and ship them out from there. But regardless, Landor Arms is a Turkish company. From everything I could gather on their website, it is a company that was founded in 2015. If I'm wrong on that, please correct me. If you go to landorarms.com, the majority of their information is in Turkish. 2015, along with some other English words, were around that. So I'm assuming that's when this company was founded. Again, I'm not an expert. I try to have some information, so if I'm wrong on that, please correct me. Mainly, this is kind of a review on functionality and how much fun it is to have an AR12. So this is my second one. This is actually the first AR12 I purchased. I got this about 4 years ago. I do have the TR Imports Silver Eagle. If you missed that one, you can check that out here. So this is an 18.5-inch barrel. As you can see, they label on it 12 gauge up to 3-inch shells. We are going to be using 2 3/4 double-aught buckshot. With semi-automatic shotguns, you need what's called high brass for your shells. I'll show you those here. Whoops. So you need this to be brass. If it is steel or aluminum or what other, any other material, it's not going to cycle properly. You need high brass, and you need loads at 1 1/8 ounce, I believe. These are 1 1/8, and they cycle nice. 1 1/8 ounce loads, the amount of powder in there, or 1 1/4 ounce. 1 1/4 has a lot more kick, so just be prepared for that. Now this did come with the angled foregrip. It did come with the flip up sights. Now unlike the TR Imports where you have to manually fold those up, this you just push the side button, pop, for both of them, rear and front, and they just spring right up. So a little bit faster than the TR Imports. It does have a cheek rest on the stock, which is kind of nice if you're really trying to line up your shot with a shotgun, which it's a shotgun. You don't really need to line it up, but hey, to each their own. So with all that being said, I am going to get set up and show you guys some functionality. So now I always like to start these tests out with a mag dump because mag dumps are a ton of fun. Since this is a shotgun, I am going to keep my distance from the steel targets. I don't want anything ricocheting. I have other targets for impact tests and demonstrations, stuff like that. So we're just going to start off with the mag dump. Okay. So it got 3 out and then misfired. The primer on the shell was struck. So let's see what happened. Okay, so thinking that the bolt didn't hit hard enough. Let's try one more mag. Okay, so that's odd. I'm getting 2 to 3 shells out and then it misfires. So I pull the bolt back just enough to release the shell and then I let it go again and it fires. Okay, so I switched shells. I was using Fetter buckshot. Those are 1 1/8 rated. Sealer and Bellet. I had these laying around. I don't remember buying them, but whatever. The number I can find is max, so not really sure what that is, but we'll give her a whirl. Okay, so the first one misfired, but then again, like I did last time, I pulled the bolt back just enough to release the shell. I let it snap forward, and 5 shells went off without a hitch. Let's try it again. Okay, so again, the first one misfired. Once I kind of pulled the bolt back and let it hit again, 4 went off without a hitch. This is so weird. So, alright, well, we're going to try a mag swap now. You know, just cycling through different magazines. We'll get them to go and then see how quick we can get it to, you know, drop our mag, get a new one in and get fired. Okay, so I don't have a belt for these size magazines, so we're just gonna have one in my back pocket. We'll empty the 5 shells out of this one, drop it, swap the new one in, and see if she'll fire for us. Fire in the hole. Okay, so the mag swap didn't go nearly as fast as I thought it was. You know, they're in there pretty firm, so when I pressed the mag release, you know, it didn't drop the way like a typical AR-15 or even a pistol does. You know, I just pushed the mag release there, and it's kind of hanging in there. So, you know, I don't know if that's just a break-in or if that's how it is, but if that's just how it is, I'm not a fan. Okay, so with my TR Imports AR12, I I wasn't able to use the magazines that came with my Landor Arms AR12. So right here is a magazine from my Silver Eagle, the TR Import Silver Eagle AR12. Let's see if we can use this. Okay, so it locked in, that's a good sign. Fire in the hole. So the Silver Eagle magazine fits in the Landor Arms. However, it misfired on every single shell. The shell either got jammed or it just misfired. The misfiring I'm gonna put on the Landor Arms. The shell getting jammed, I'm gonna put that on the magazine because I think this goes in a little bit further than the Landor Arms magazine. So, in my opinion, I think for the AR12s, at least for the TR imports as well as the Landor Arms LND117, you need to stick with the manufacturer's magazines, otherwise you can run into problems, because I just ran into problems with both of them. More problems from the Landor Arms though. Okay, so now that this is a little bit more broken in than when I showed up here this morning, and it's all nice and warmed up, I'm gonna see if I can switch back to the feather shells and see if these will cycle on a mag dump. Okay, so again, misfired on the first one, corrected it, fired 2, misfired again, corrected it, fired 3. So, I don't know. Let's shoot some water jugs. Okay. Alright, so I know the first shell's probably gonna jam, but we got some water jugs set up, so let's shoot them and have some fun. Yeah, it jammed. Okay guys, so that's going to wrap up this review video. The Landor Arms AR12 LND117, you know, I have mixed feelings about. It comes with 2 5-round mags as well as 1 2-round mag. I forgot to mention that before. But the mixed feelings are, number one, I really like the AR platform. I think it's a nice looking firearm. It's got that tactical look that I like. It comes with the flip up sights. It comes with the angled foregrip, which I'm a big fan of, but I mean, it's misfiring on every single first round. You know, I tried 2 different shells with 2 different loads. It did it on both of them. So I'm gonna have to figure out something and adjust it, you know, if it can be adjusted. I don't even know what's going on with it. It seems like the firing pin almost isn't resetting the whole way on the initial bolt release when you load the first shell. So as far as home defense, right now I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 10, because I mean, if you have an intruder or something and this is your go-to firearm and you're experiencing the same thing I'm experiencing, which is a misfire on the first round, that is a life or death misfire. You know, odds are if you're pulling a gun on home intruders, it's because you're fearful for your life, and you can't afford to have a misfire. So you know what, let's scratch the one, we'll give that a 0, because I'm not trusting this thing at all. Once you get that corrected and you get it to fire, I mean, there is a little bit of weight behind it. It's not the lightest shotgun, so the recoil isn't too bad. I don't know how many shells I just dumped through, but if you can see them, here's all the empties. I mean, shoot, if somebody wants to go back and count the shots, cool, but I think I probably have 50 or so shells through it. My shoulder feels, you know, pretty fine. Like, you know, I would categorize it as to 100 rounds through an AK as to what my shoulder feels like. So the recoil on it isn't all that bad. I'll give that an 8 out of 10. It is a 12 gauge, so there is going to be a little bit of a kick, but I've definitely shot bigger guns and smaller guns that have had more recoil. You know, the mag swapping, I wasn't a fan of how the mags got held up, so we'll give that a 3 out of 10. And then as far as using another manufacturer's magazines, we tried using the TR Import Silver Eagle magazines, and I ran into a jam issue with every single shell that I tried to fire out of that. So I'm going to give that a 1. This is not looking to be a good review. You know, comparing it to the Canic Arms, my Canic Arms rival, they're both made in Turkey. I would assume that, you know, it's probably a good brand, but you know, I did get it when it was on sale. It was a little bit less expensive, so I do have another firearm that I'm excited to do this review, because I bought this one specifically on a budget. It was my first pistol ever. I bought it because it was super cheap, and it is by far the worst gun that I own. So again, getting back to my main point, was that I bought the Landor Arms LND117 strictly because of the price. I think I got it for like $300 or something. So I mean, with firearms, you kind of get what you pay for. If you're buying something strictly on a budget or just because it's cheap, you can kind of almost count on this. Misfiring, bad shooting, stuff like that. So I mean, it is what it is. Once you get it to cycle, once you get it to fire, it is a fun firearm because it is a shotgun. You know, it blows up water jugs really nice, because 12 gauge buckshot likes to do that regardless what it's coming out of. So all in all, for the Landor Arms LND117, I would either suggest maybe getting a higher model or getting a different brand, and spend some money on it, because like I said, home defense wise, if you're preparing to use this for home defense and it misfires on the first round like it did for me every single time, you're in some serious trouble. Home intruders, muggers, robbers, whatever, they're not going to wait for you to correct that problem. So yeah, I'm not going to say steer clear, because this is their low end AR12. They do have higher ends, so you know, maybe it's something that needs adjusted on my end, maybe it's something in this particular model, I don't know. But what's the average there? I think we had a 0, an 8, a 3, and the water jugs is always a 10. Disregard that one though, because that's the shell. I don't know, what is that, a 4.5? We'll call it a 4.5 out of 10. I apologize, Landor Arms. I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything to your brand, but I'm having issues with the LND117. So if this video does find you and you have any feedback for me to adjust something or correct something, I'm all ears and I will gladly redo this. But until then, that is my review on the Landor Arms AR12 LND117. So with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. So thank you guys for tuning back in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, please click the like and subscribe. Don't forget to like us on Instagram. And I cannot thank everybody enough for the continued support. Whether it's a property maintenance video, something going on with our new build, something at my house with even firewood, firearms videos, shooting videos, whatever. Everybody that watches those, thank you guys a million times over. I'm excited to see where this channel goes in 2023 with the start of our new house. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time.